sitting at the kitchen table, facing my wife, with a trickle of blood staining my cheek. Weeks before, I told my wife I wanted a separation. For months, my gut had been screaming at me, "You two have completely grown apart. You can't live like this. No more." I was just so tired of being sick and tired. Now, before this event, my hero's journey began back in 2018. I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, and for 9 months, I battled this inflammation and icy fire coursing throughout my whole body, reducing me to my knees in mercy. I was only 38 at the time, but it felt like I was 98, living with extreme fatigue and days lost to endless sleep, just trying to survive. My wife was unresponsive to my dire situation. I felt completely abandoned within these flames of pain. Today, looking back, I understand now that my body was trying to tell me something that my heart wasn't willing to accept yet. This relationship wasn't right for me. And if I couldn't count on the mother of our children during my greatest time of suffering, something needed to change. And guess what? It had to be me. So with time, I realized that my outer world is a reflection of what is going on in my inner world. And that shift was only going to happen from within. Alongside this insight, I realized that I was dealt the exact circumstance that I needed to prepare me for the resilience that I would need to use that would help me in my journey. So in time, I realized that my outer world is a reflection of what is going on in my inner world. And this shift was only going to happen from within. Alongside with this, I was dealt the exact circumstance that I needed to prepare me for the resilience that I would have to rely on years later. Now, what transpired on that night, May 29, 2020, is something I never fathomed could ever happen in my life. Here, sitting back at the kitchen table, my wife dialed 911. She dramatized the situation. She tried to provoke me to fall into her trap. My wife set me up. She was unable to accept my decision, and she wanted me out. A knock at the front door interrupts our intense silence. My heart is racing. 2 police officers stand there assessing the situation, noticing the trickle of blood left there by my wife's fingernails just minutes ago. Shock and disbelief gripped me as they announced that we were both being arrested. Now, my sons are merely a few feet away, soundly asleep, oblivious to the chaos that will ultimately impact their innocent lives. She tells the officers, "He beats me and he beats the kids." This fake news creates a rush of heat, once again, knocking me down to my knees. I sought to find solace in meditation, but there's no escaping the raging fire within me. The officers declared a restraining order against me. It's a descent back into my innermost darkness. I was forced to let go of my entire universe. My sons, my home, my business suffered as a result. I was desperately seeking, trying to find justice for her lies, trying to make sense of these accusations. For God's sakes, she took my babies away from me. At one point, I thought I lost my mind. I wanted out too, but not like this. I had to defend actions that I never committed. I was forced to prove myself in front of strangers. However, I had one thing that no one could ever conquer from me: my character. So the months went on, and I fell deeper into my darkest cave. My mom suddenly became sick, and she passed away 7 months after that. I've never felt this alone in my life before. I had to draw from my experience with arthritis and being able to bring myself back to health. But that was the exact memory that I needed in that moment to ignite these new flames so I could continue persevering. I had a new sense of inner power and purpose because I began transforming my inner world. Weeks after my mom's passing, I had to fight my final battle for my rights to be my son's life. But I continued to aspire because deep down in my heart, I knew that brighter days were ahead. I no longer felt the need to prove my worth to anybody else besides my sons, myself, and my mom who's watching above today. I learned that perseverance wasn't about enduring hardship and forcing my way through life. It was about surrendering to what I knew to be true so that truth could get me through, allowing me only to conquer myself and leading me to rebuild from the ashes. We're not finished. We're almost there.
Take your time.
An event is just an event. And we are not the events that we need to simply survive from. You are your own furnace, and you have the choice whether the flame within will burn you or ignite you. Never doubt the power from within, for you are inherently worthy. Let your truth fuel you and always give yourself the permission to rise up.